Hi, I'm Richard. He, they, she, it pronouns, and I wrote, performed, and filmed Who Made the Box, which is about my gender identity. Pure chaos.
Yeah, so what is your gender identity?
Genderfluid.
And what does it mean to be gender fluid?
So for me, genderfluid means it fluctuates. I feel girly one day, I feel manly the other day. Like in the poem, I'm like cute, handsome. It's just all over the place, fluid, flowing like water. Yeah, that's how I define it.
And when did you know? When did you figure that out?
When it comes to gender, I don't think I have an I know story. In 2021, I think it was, I was looking up the definitions of gender fluid, gender queer, gender fuck, non-binary. They fitted me. I look back to year 8 to 9, 12 to 14. People call me a girl. They'd ask about my genitals. Because I looked like a girl, had long hair, and was fat. But when reflecting and reading the definitions, those beliefs didn't affect me anymore. What if I was a girl? What if I went by she, her? Who actually cares? I felt relieved. Those beliefs didn't affect me anymore. I look back to a character I had in year 8, a popular homophobic girl. I was taking the mick out of the popular girls at school, but it was the embodiment of my internalized homophobia and transphobia, and I deeply apologise to anyone I affected and upset during that time. In year 9, I was the emperor in Empress No Clothes, and to make it look like I have no clothes on, I put on a bra and underwear over my blacks. But these moments, when I know, it wasn't discovery, it wasn't I know, it was just being myself. It was only 3-4 years later that I came back to these memories and connected it. These all make sense, I thought. It would be great to have an I know story, but my gender is unpredictable, even to me. I pick out an outfit the day before that is cute, and then the day of, the next day, I'm like, nah, I feel handsome today. Or maybe I'm neutral. I'm me. I'm Richard. I am my gender, but my gender ain't me. These stories of figuring it out are valuable though. Take Daniel Howell, for instance. His coming out video and his depression videos. You see tons of comments telling their stories, coming out, coming to terms. The I know stories help, and they should be shared. Videos like Dan Howell's give people the vocabulary to explain their thoughts and experiences. Identity is a tricky thing to figure out, so people sharing their experience helps. I hope I have with this. Sorry, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Another question I have for you. It's very interesting hearing about, there's this typical I know scenario, and then you've gone with, you've had a different experience to that. So what would you say, for starters, what would you say is some advice for people who are questioning their gender identity, like early on, or maybe they're still questioning after a while? What's something you'd like to say?
I just say explore,
Yeah.
if you can, that is, because I know different circumstances, but I just explore if you can, if that means when your mum and dad are out wearing high heels and stuff, or simply be like, ooh, friend, Can you call me she, her? Can you call me they, them? Can you call me it? Dehumanize me! Like, just explore.
Yeah.
I don't like labels, right?
Right.
Because they confuse me, they make me have a crisis. So labels are supposed to be to explain what you're feeling, and the definitions change. So labels are something that people strive for and look for, but they are for describing and explaining. So see if they fit, see if they don't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just be yourself, you know?
So, with labels, would you say they're more of a guideline? So they're meant to help you understand more about yourself by exploring? Or do you think, rather than them being set in stone facts, you have to identify with this if you feel this, etc.?
So yeah, it should be a guideline, and as with everything in language, has many definitions, changes over time.
Yeah.
So the whole bisexual, pansexual debate online is just because people are unwilling and to be open-minded and listen to different definitions. The labels are supposed to help you be like, oh yeah, that's me, cool. So if, like with asexuality, I'm asexual, it's little to no sexual attraction, which is why I'm aromantic, little to no romantic attraction. I fit into that, but as it is a spectrum, there are different experiences, but I think that fits for me. And if people are like, oh, but isn't that demisexual, isn't that hypersexual? It just drives me crazy, I'm scared, basically. So, definitions change, it should be a guideline, and just be open-minded. Like, if someone's like, oh, I'm demisexual, and then they're like, oh, but that person looks cute, like, it varies, it changes, it might be different, but
Okay, so I've got a two-part here. The first part is, could you explain more, just for the people who may not understand, the distinctive difference between sexuality and gender identity? And then could you perhaps give a bit more on, if you want, of course, on your experience in, exploring sexuality?
Sexuality is how you feel towards other people. Same with the romantic part of it as well. Romantic and sexual, whether that's same gender, other gender, no genders, all genders. And gender identity is how you feel about gender. That is the mental part, not the physical part. And sex is what you have.
So, gender is more of a self, like your personal identity and how you feel.
Yeah.
And then sexuality is your attractiveness to other people.
Yeah, or
Potentially,
attracted.
potentially based on gender or sex, or based on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
My experience with sexuality, how I got to asexual, from year 7 to year 9, I dated a lot of people. The reason I put inverted commas there because it was year 7 to year 9, and I had lots of people, and looking back at it, I was confusing platonic friendship feelings, the fuzzy feelings you get with friends, to the fuzzy feelings you get with romanticness. And in like year 9, 10, I just stopped dating. I was single for like a year, and I was fine with it. The thing that made me question my sexuality so I went from straight to bi, had my first boyfriend, so bi, and then I was like, oh, I like the other gender, like non-binary. So then it went to pansexual, and then I stayed with that for a while, and then I dated my friend Joe, and then afterwards, after he broke up with me through a letter after 5 months, I went back to dating like 7 days later. I feel like looking back at it, I was putting on the sadness quite a bit. I was acting sad. And then when I broke up, the person I dated after that, I actually felt proper sad. Different type of sad. So I thought I was heterosexual, panromantic, and that identity crisis just made me go, queer, umbrella term, I don't know, label stupid, bye. And then I opened myself up to asexuality, because I was like, that story is funny. I was like, I'm never gonna have kids, what's that called? I'm never gonna get married, what's that called? I was like, am I celibate? And then it was like celibacy versus asexuality. I was like, asexuality, I feel sexual attraction, I feel romantic attraction, I want to hold hands, I want to kiss, blah, blah, blah. But those are stereotypes, they got debunked, and I opened myself up to learning more, and I was like, yes, that's cool. And it's probably gonna stay like that. My sexuality is probably gonna stay asexual.
That was very interesting how you've discussed your experience in gender identity and sexuality, and how people should experiment with gender identity. And obviously, that's influenced you, and you've made a poem and performed it. That's very interesting to hear about artists starting to talk about this more often.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi there! Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and has helped you. On screen there is a documentary about queer family that I was a part of. It's a beautiful thought experiment, so please check it out.